Okay, there I did it again. I'm working on stop doing that. So, um, made some changes since the last time. I'm gonna just make another little video to show some of them. So let's go off to the, at the time, unfinished tunnel. Actually, let's go upstairs first. I only made one little change up here, but I figure we'll show it. Added to this staircase. Before there was no, you could get to the second level if you went up here and up like these, but there was no way to get out to the deck that was out there. So I decided to just put a few more stairs up here and put a door out here onto the deck. Of course, it's the middle of the night. That's new. We'll go over that in a minute. First, let's run downstairs and sleep real quick. Okay, so I don't think anything has changed in here. Actually, these are new. These are new. I've set up the crafting. So I believe before, I don't know how much of this I had before. So now there are these lines coming from the computer that will put items into these based on my needs. And then these suck whatever is in them out into that, which goes through a cable behind the wall under the floor back into the computer. So these are ME interfaces. This particular one has in it a pattern to make leather. Basically, this tells the computer, this device, if we send it one, what is it, the zombie, the undead, the flesh they drop, we will cook it into a leather, which is something that the pulverizer can do. So the pulverizer gets the zombie flesh, turns it into a leather. It's immediately sucked out back of the computer, and I have a leather. This is a crusher. I don't think there's actually any, the crusher's not even hooked up right now. Main reason I have the crusher is because this pulverizer can't grind diamonds. Occasionally I need diamond dust. The pulverizer has in it recipes for quartz dust, sand, and yellorium dust. For various crafting things. This is a chest that pipes into the metallurgic infuser, and it basically has recipes for an encoded pattern and an enriched alloy. Both of these are made with redstone as the infusing source. This one uses an osmium ingot, this one uses an iron ingot. And these transfer nodes are set up to where this one, which pumps into the infusing section, will only pull out, actually this pumps into the main section looking at it now, this will only pull out iron ingots or osmium ingots. So if either of those pops in this chest, they'll stick them over there. And then this one, which goes into the infusing section, will only pull redstone. Now I could add to these filters as I come up with more things I need the infuser to make. As soon as you add something, put a pattern in this ME interface here, the computer knows it has a way to craft it. This is, what is this? The alloy smelter. So this has in it the recipes for making stone out of cobblestone, for making yellorium ingot out of yellorium dust, and for making quite clear glass out of sand, because that's what this particular thing does. It doesn't make glass, it makes quite clear glass, which I have a way around that, because over here, this is the device that does the molecular assembler. This actually does crafting recipes that require a crafting table for the computer. So if I look in its interface, which is right between here, it has in it a pattern to make patterns. Basically, it'll put in 2 quartz glass, 1 sort of quartz crystal, 3 iron ingots, and 3 glowstone dusts, and turn it into a pattern. It will take quartz glass and turn it into quite clear glass. Basically, you throw, oh no, I'm sorry, this is the quartz glass recipe. It makes 5 another quartz dust and 4 quite clear glasses, turns them into quartz glass, which computer components need. This is the one that makes regular glass. Just basically, if you put a quite clear glass in a crafting table, it changes it to a regular glass, in case I need regular glass for certain recipes. These are the actual crafting CPUs that do all the thinking. We've got 2 co-processors, which allows it to think a little more, memory box that allows it to hold all of the things when it's crafting, and then this just displays what it happens to be crafting at the moment. And I just made 2 of them so I can craft more than one thing at once. The way this works is, this is the pattern terminal. This is how you create patterns. This is sort of turning into a how-to, and that wasn't really the intent, but I'm just explaining a lot. Basically, in this, you tell it if it's a processing pattern, like the pulverizer or the furnaces over there. You basically put in the items that are needed, and then over here you put what it would turn it into, and hit this button, and it makes you pattern as long as you've got a blank pattern there. If it's a crafting recipe, you just put the stuff here. It tells you what it's going to make here. You hit the button, and it makes you pattern. That's how you make the different patterns for the 2 boxes. So the way this would work is, if you are out of something, the icon here will say craft instead of not having an icon. So to show you what that looks like, I'll switch the view so it only shows craftable items. If I ran out of any of these things, it would say craft instead of showing me I had none of them. So for instance, say I want to make some sand. Click on this and say, I want 10 sands. Next, it tells me, alright, you've got 10 cobblestone available, I can make you 10 sand. It's going to pick which CPU automatically. Boom, go for it. So it's going to start making that stuff. Let me switch this back to showing me everything before I forget. If we run over here and look real quick, we can see that right now this crafting CPU is handling sending stuff to the furnace over here, which should be running, actually not the furnace, the pulverizer, which is going. And you can see it's turning cobblestone into sand, sucking it back out of the computer. So, that's that. As far as the other stuff that's new, this tunnel is now completed. It's got walls, it's got a ceiling. Let me run down here. It's got lighting. It's got a opening up into the immersive engineering building, and this is all walled in everywhere. So if we go up to immersive engineering, this is where the first of the changes have happened. Okay, first thing is there's some, what have I changed in here? Some of the wiring. You see the diesel generator now has 3 high voltage wires going out of it. And there was in here before wires going to a hole that went outside. That's all outside now. Everything here is full. The reason it wasn't filling last time was because the chunks weren't staying loaded. So I've solved that. I will show you how in a minute. So now these things should be nice and packed full of hemp seeds and sugarcane. All the sugar looks like that's started a couple times. Either somebody stole sugarcane out of here for some reason, or it's actually had to, make some because that diesel generator started. And it's turned off. These can't start automatically. Whatever. I have since added a tank which holds creosote oil. The reason being, I need to make coal coke for something I was making, and this only holds so much. So by yes, does this apparently. By adding a tank to it, all the creosote oil it fills will just go up there. I don't actually use the creosote oil. If I build more of this immersive engineering stuff, I need it to make treated wood. So I just added that in there so the coal coke has a place to go. This is also new. This is the engineer's workbench. You find patterns out in the world to make things. This makes a graphite electrode for one of the new items outside. So let's go outside. This is new, part of the new stuff. What this is immersive engineering's ore processing system. This is a crusher. It's quite a nasty thing. Let me turn it on here. We'll go up here. Yeah, let's find something to throw in it. What can I throw in it? I can throw a piece of coal coke in it. So if we throw the coal coke in it, or anything, including me, mobs, what have you, it starts up, makes all kinds of noise, and grinds that into something. Let's see if that actually made anything. If it can't make anything with it, it just throws it away. But that made me for coke dust. So this is an industrial squeezer. This will squeeze the coke dust into Let's see, it makes pure coke or pure carbon or something like that. I had to add some wiring to power this stuff, so I sort of extended my wiring over here. The sugarcane field has changed a bit. If we fly up here, it's about 6 times larger now. Well, four times larger. It used to be the same size as that hemp field, and I made it bigger because I needed it to be able to make more sugarcane. So the power comes over here to these devices. We'll get to that in a minute. This is the crusher. Anything it crushes, it throws in this chest. This creates graphite dust. If I then take the graphite dust over to this furnace, which I don't have to put coal in because it has a immersive engineering external heater, which takes the place of putting coal in the furnace. So if I throw my graphite dust in there now, boom, it fires up. It actually works faster than coal, I believe, and it turns it into graphite ingots. Graphite ingots can be turned into graphite electrodes, which this device needs. See, these are big, heavy copper conductors, supposedly, and these are the graphite terminals. What this arc furnace does is anything you put into it, it smelts it. The cool thing about this is it can be smelting all kinds of stuff. You can throw all your copper. This will not make alloys accidentally, I don't believe. I'm not sure it even makes alloys. For some of the immersive engineering stuff, you infuse, I think, coal coke into iron and it makes steel. So you put your iron here, and if you put coal coke over here, this is where your additives will go. It creates the alloy down here. So these are those electrodes. They actually have wear. They get used up, and you have to replace them with new ones every so often. So, and this is where it outputs its stuff. That's where it gets its power. There's another item behind. I am going to go sleep real quick and then come back and we'll go behind the building. Okay, I am back from sleeping. It is daytime. So I'll show you a couple of the other changes. So the bigger sugarcane field, I had to change the wiring out here a little bit for that because the actual harvester for this ended up moving because it was over here. I had to move it over there and change the pipes and stuff. I have added underneath here, just so I never run out of diesel, I have added a tank for the diesel. So it pumps out of the refiner and there into this. From this it'll go up into the diesel generator. So I should have diesel for a while now. Over here the sludge farm should be nice and full. It is. Well, actually it's not. But this is all filled up. Over here, this is the new wiring. So these high voltage wires come out to this tower and they go on to that device over there. This is the high voltage capacitor. So I have it go from this back to that so it can step it down, or actually it stores it. Uh-oh. Something tried to beat me up. Alright, he's dead. It goes to the high voltage transformer, which is outside the building now, and then it goes around here into the storage capacitors. It also goes out to these two things. Here's a medium voltage wire coming out to this device, which is a core sample drill. The way that works is it samples. It doesn't really, just this little thing in the center will spin, it'll go down and it'll check this chunk to see if it finds any mineral veins, which this device can then dig up. I think I can turn this on so you can see it run. Now this I've checked several chunks around here, none of them actually have any mineral veins. I don't need this to farm any minerals, so I just have it out here to look cool. But when you start it up, it goes boom, and it'll start running and digging. And did I use up all my power already? Yeah, I'm not going to go. If I'm going to turn the diesel generator, then it'll power this. This doesn't have enough power on its own. But you saw that start to move up there. It moves just like a big mining rig, and It digs, and if it's actually getting stuff, it doesn't actually dig the ground underneath it except for these few blocks here. If this determines there's a vein, it's all randomly generated in the computer. Then it tells this thing there's a vein, and this thing will start pulling stuff out of that vein over time. If it's actually working, you come up here, you'll see as these buckets come up here, they'll be dumping stuff out of this opening here into this hopper, and it goes in there and spits them out into this. So another cool immersive engineering thing that doesn't actually do anything. Now the problem with this is you have to go chunk by chunk. So you go to a chunk, stick this thing in it, and then if it finds something, you can throw down this excavator and dig it. But the problem is you need the diesel generator's worth of power, so you would then have to run these wires to it. There was actually a bug with the last update. You can't go through more than one of these high voltage insulators for some reason. You can only connect to them. You can't actually connect from them to another one. So you would have to run wires out to wherever your excavator would be. Hopefully they'll take care of that at some point. And that's it for out here. We're up to 16 minutes now. I'm going to stop it here and put the other new things into a separate video. So I will talk to you later. Bye.